Way back in 2018, hubby bought this little guy. It's the GlocalMe G4 mobile hotspot. We used it for close to a year before doing our review of it. We wanted to make sure it was dependable and actually did what we bought it to do. Turns out it did quite well, in fact. Of course, you have to understand how mobile hotspots work, and we explained that in our first video review. If you're curious about the benefits and limitations of mobile hotspots, then go check out that first video, which we'll link to in the description below. We initially wanted this to connect our devices to the internet when we were cruising internationally. It was great for that, but hubby found it was so convenient that he started using it around town to connect his laptop or iPad. He was using it to work at the park, at friends' houses, on long car trips, and even sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store. In fact, he's been using it almost every week for close to 2 years. But it's time to retire this little guy. Oh, it still works great, but GlocalMe saw our first review and asked if we'd like to try out the latest model. Of course, we said yes. They are not paying us and they didn't tell us what to say, but we always want to be clear when we get stuff this way. So, here's what we have now. We've had this newer model for over a month now, and we think it's pretty cool. Obviously, it's thinner and has way more screen, but what else is new with it? Well, buckle up because there's a lot. Of course, some of this is just tech mumbo jumbo to me, but I'm sure it means something to many of you out there. So here are the deets. First, the weight. At 187 grams, the G4 is almost 50 grams less than the G3. May not sound like much, but hubby says it's a noticeable difference when you're toting it around in your pocket, and everything adds up in a travel backpack. Battery-wise, the G3 houses 5350 mAh, which is milliamp hours, while the G4 settles with a 3900 mAh. That may sound like the G3 has a leg up in this area, but hubby says the G4's battery life is terrific, and he hasn't noticed a difference between the two. The user interface, or UI, is the showstopper for the G4. It's more vibrant and it just looks more modern than the G3. The G3 certainly gets the job done, but the G4 does it with panache. The new model adds a bit more of future-proofing. With the G3, the screen is just kind of a way to connect and verify a few connection-related things. Once done, you pop it back in your pocket and don't look at it again until it's time to turn it off. The G4 screen is set up as prime real estate for apps. The sky is kind of the limit here. Right now, they've got TripAdvisor and a translation app built right in. GlocalMe is in the development stage with this, and we found the translation app to be buggy, but a future update will likely clear that up. We really hope they make great use of this because we can think of lots of cool travel apps that would be super handy on it. Say, for instance, Google Maps, maybe? This could position the GlocalMe 4 as a multifunctional, portable travel essential. Now let's talk about some of the features of the G4. The G4 has a pay-as-you-go option. There's no contract restriction on GlocalMe data service. Instead, different data packages are available for different usage needs. Hubby says it's a good idea to watch for discount coupons on the GlocalMe app. And speaking of the app, it's really easy to control and manage data plans on the user-friendly app. The coverage is stellar at more than 144 countries with free roaming. You can connect up to 5 devices like laptops, smartphones, pads, etc. Well, what about speed? How about 4G LTE with 150 Mbps download and 50 Mbps upload speed? We've found the speeds to be exceptional, and we've tested in many places around the world. Oh, and this thing doubles as a power bank with built-in USB charging. If you need a quick charge for your phone or camera, bam, you've got it in the G4. So, that's the G4 in a nutshell, and we think it's pretty cool. So what's the bottom line? Should you get a G4? Well, let's look at a few things first. First, do you need a mobile hotspot? If you travel a lot and you want to connect to the internet in a convenient and reliable way, then you might need the G4. Of course, we're on lockdown right now, so we can't travel, but that brings up another scenario. If you can get out to a park or similar location and want to connect devices without built-in cellular connections, then this is a great option. What about price? Well, you've got 2 things to consider here. First, the cost of the device, which we think is pretty reasonable at well under $200. It's typically closer to about $150 US if you watch for sales and coupons. And second, the cost of data. Take a look at GlocalMe's website and check out the package prices. There's a lot to choose from, but generally we find them to be reasonable. Again, watch for the sales and the coupons. And finally, you must understand the limitations of mobile hotspots. In short, mobile hotspots are dependent on cellular availability. Where cellular is good, this particular device is outstanding. But just like your phone, if the cellular is bad, well, you're probably going to have trouble. Again, check out our first video on the G3 for more information. We'll link to it down below. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until next time, get in gear and, well, for now, just get in gear, and we'll wait for the second part later.